Hi Taurus, this is your mid-July 2019 reading. Taurus, we're going to talk about the eclipses in the month of July, which will have an impact on you all the way till December of 2019. We'll also talk about the rundown of the events that are about to come in the coming days. But let's start first with the eclipse that is happening on 16th of July or 17th of July in your house of adventure. We are opening a new chapter of our life and bringing to close an old chapter of our life when it comes to our sense of adventure, our sense of taking risk in life, our sense of taking a leap in terms of our goals, in terms of our ambitions. This eclipse is focused on your belief system, on your goals, on your sense of taking more risk in life when it comes to your education, when it comes to your work, when it comes to your career, so you can go out and take certain risk in your career, in your work, to expand your influence further, to expand your area of expertise, to study something that will give you the career progression, to go for a job that will give you expanded view of life, to go for a travel that will expand your mind and give you a different outlook about what you want to do in life. This is a very, very karmic and fated meeting of sun and moon, and they're bringing together an old chapter, an old belief system to closure that is not serving you well. It is releasing an old phase of life which is outdated now, and it does not jive well with who you are becoming. This is almost a test of your old belief system. Does that serve you well? The education that you had before, the career line that you had chosen for yourself, the purpose of life that you chose for yourself, is that fulfilling you anymore or not? Because this is happening in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn eclipses are all about deciding what we want to do for long term. It's about setting in stone things that will serve us for longer purpose. And that is not just because of this eclipse. We have Saturn, Pluto, and South Node coming together for the first time ever in our lifetime this year. And they're coming together to release an old belief system that you have about your life. They want to transform your belief system. They want to transform your point of view, the view that you have of your life, and the boundaries that connect you to the people who are different from you. They are being shifted right now. You are being called to a world that is different from yours. You're being asked to release certain past belief system that might be limiting for you going forward. Our belief system of our life and who we can become is being released over here. Along with that purge of an old way of thinking, an old belief system, an old education, even an old place of living, now you're going towards something that fits your soul purpose further. So the first thing is always awakening. The first instance of this, the first step is always the realization. A full moon where the moon is illuminated by the sun fully, illumination is the first step that happens. So the instant impact of this full moon, of this eclipse, is realization, or getting an information, or getting a clear guidance on where you want to go. What is my purpose? Do I need to go into a teaching phase? Do I need to go for publication? Do I need to relocate? Do I need to be in a place of work where I'm given more freedom to practice my creativity, to practice and expand my mind further? The net result of that exercise, of this shift, whether you're changing a job, whether you're going for a new career progression, whether you're going for an educational course, or you're relocating to a different place, the net result is expansive view of life and having a new life purpose. You're looking at getting higher education here. That could be through a job, that could be through a life experience, that could be through you taking a formal course. This is not elementary education. This is higher education. Our higher mind is being activated, which places us in a different position in the material world, because your belief system is pragmatic, it's earthy. You are realistic about your goals, you're realistic about your life purpose. You need quantifiable and real goals in place, and this full moon gives us exactly that. It gives us a contact with a new way of being that sets certain material goals that you did not have before. This is happening at 24 degree of Capricorn, and that degree is known for total commitment to a goal. In Sambian astrology, it is shown as a woman entering a convent. We are surrendering to a certain way of being. We are making sense of our old experience. We are becoming more pragmatic about it, saying that's probably done with. There is something I need to release. Maybe my purpose of life has to change. Maybe we have to move away from where we were in order to get where we want to go. You would crave to travel. You would possibly travel. If you're taking a travel right now, if you're taking an adventure, and it could be just a short travel, it could be a travel of the mind where you interact with people who are completely different from you, or you are surrounded by somebody who's like your mentor, who expands and gives you this different perspective, that leads you to an open mind about a new opportunity that is coming your way, because your sphere of influence has to change with this. With Saturn Pluto together in your house of adventure, in your house of leap of faith, in your house of education, you are bound to go for something that is different from what you have done before. But this eclipse of 16th or 17th of July shows you how over the course of next 4 weeks. And you might have had certain discussions in March already, which might be coming to a conclusion right now. Around 22nd or 23rd of March, if you had certain significant discussions with somebody, or you traveled, or you talked to a supervisor, or you spoke to a person of influence in your business group, or you spoke to somebody who's offshore, who understands what you want to do, who's given you a different vision of life, that comes to a conclusion, that comes to a completion, but something will come to a head over here. This is a very, very strong eclipse, and it is making a positive contact with you. It's inspiring you. It might feel like a pressure, because a eclipse always feels like a little bit of crisis. It feels like something has to be done. We feel almost compelled to something, compelled to do something. Pluto makes us almost compelled to go for something. We feel very intent about it. We feel very strong about it. It could be a long held dream that comes to a head. You really want to do it. You want to go all in. There's a long standing, there might have been a long standing lack of conviction in that idea, in that teaching idea, on that publication, on that relocation, on you wanting to be in a different place from your place of birth, on you trying to go for an educational course, on you trying to settle something which is related to foreign affairs. This is you using your higher mind to bring about a shift in your material reality. And you will feel very strongly, you'll feel like, I must do this. You'll be driven towards it, and it will take time for you to come to that conclusion, because right now Mercury, the planet that rules our thinking, is retrograde. When Mercury is retrograde, which means that it seems to be moving away from Earth versus towards the Earth, so it is moving in a direction different from its regular direction, we are given a different perspective about our life. We are given a different perspective. So when you're rethinking things, when you're taking in information, when you're absorbing new information, that is not a right time to sign off on things. That is a good time to imbibe new information that is coming your way. And you will be getting a lot of information, a lot of interaction right now coming your way, which will be inspiring you, which will be showing you a different direction. So this becomes the time to sort and serve, to figure out what I want to do, to figure out which direction you really want to go. What is the job you want to consider? What kind of shift you want to consider? Who should be your mentor? Who should be your guide? What kind of work inspires you? And this could be in the area of communication, because your houses of communication and knowledge, they are getting activated this month through very strong eclipses. Even the first eclipse that happened at the start of the month, which was a weaker eclipse in some senses because it takes time to take effect. The solar eclipse typically will come to effect, in my view, around October, and that was in field of communication, a karmic communication coming your way, which shifts your life direction. That will take time. Right now, it's you who's initiating something. It is you who's sort of completing an old chapter, shifting your mind and deciding a new direction. The karmic communication of that, the final conclusion of that, or the final fruits, in my view, of that will come around October. But you have to be on lookout for certain distinct interactions, in my view, which will happen in the coming days, or it might have already happened, which will bring you there, which will inspire you with a little bit of friction, even. Because this eclipse comes with a little bit of friction. It is a dry eclipse. It's an eclipse which is cut and dry. It is an eclipse which is cut and dry about what has served its purpose, which needs to be given up, and a need for structure and plan and results for the future. Getting over something which is done and going over what you truly want to do, what you truly what you truly feel strong about, which gives you a leap, which gives you the next leg up. So the old comfort, structure, belief, life has to be released to some extent. And that is a very cut and dry process, in the sense that you have sort of outlived it. You know that you don't want that. You know that that thing sort of, you've outgrown it. Sorry, not outlived it. You've outgrown it. You have become another person, a different person now. So that current circumstance might fall away because it does not serve you anymore. And you're ready to expand your life. You're ready to either change your career or your public status, but you don't know how. And this is the how. This is the information which comes through interaction with other people. The road to success, as we spoke about last month, was to open yourself up to other people. Share your life, talk to people, interact with people. The if I may say, I mean, the boundaries with other people and the fear, or the fear of opening up, is to be released here, because we are opening up to the right kind of people here. We are sharing our life with people who are different from us, to gain pragmatic inputs from them, to study from them, to look at new ways of doing things. And we are learning at the same time to communicate our needs, because North Node, which is where the first eclipse was, and which is where we are learning things, is in your house of communication, but communication of your needs, of your feelings, of what you want, asking for what you truly want, and not have doubts about it. The ease of mind, the lapse of risk, the lapse of fear, the release of fear, so you can ask for what you truly want. You learn from your immediate environment by lowering your boundaries with it, take inputs from it, being receptive to ideas from co-workers, from people, from sibling, or the people who can help you, adding softer stroke to the communication, the compassion, the emotion, the sensitivity with your surroundings, where you become a student and you take in some new information, and that lands you in a completely different place. That lands you in a more expansive place. That lands you in a place where you want to stay for a longer period of time. That lands you on a place which is exciting, which is past the old, which is past what's stale. So we are expanding our understanding of the world by opening ourselves more for it and preparing for a future expansion here. As I mentioned last month, the houses that are getting activated by eclipse this month, they are in cadent houses. Cadent is growth house. They're preparing us for a major breakthrough in our career. They're preparing us to the next level in our career. They're preparing us to the next level of leadership in our career. So the tools, the education, the mentor, the travel, the friends, the people who help us, all of those tools, they come together in this phase very, very karmically, very, very fatedly. They come through fate. They come through out of happenstance. They come out of nowhere. So there are people who you meet who you did not think you would. And Mercury is in that area in the coming days. From 19th of July to 11th of August, Mercury, the planet of mental thinking, is in the house of mental thinking. So you are like communicating a lot, you're discussing a lot. You might be communicating as well as commuting. You might be traveling or just commuting a lot or meeting a lot of people. And that puts you in the middle, and you should do that. And that puts you in the middle of an ideation phase from which something very different comes up. And something very different might have already come up because these aspects have been made with other planets so far as well. and you might have been going up and down or thinking, discussing some plan on how to shift direction, and that karmically in a very fated manner comes through, and you will start feeling that in the coming days. In fact, 17th of July, we have Venus meeting North Node and opposing Saturn. This is a combination where when you are with somebody who you are close to, a friend you love, or a person who's close to you, who you feel safe with, and you're having a communication with them, and something karmic can come up, something very just an idea comes through with that discussion, and we should be on our lookout for, because these are easier energy. Taurus, the eclipses which are easy for us, I sometimes feel they're more difficult because we miss the benefit of them. So we have to be on lookout for these clues when you're discussing with the people around you. And in the coming days, if you're meeting some of your friends or the people you love or the people who bring you compassion, love, healing, the people who understand you, if you're interacting with them, and you'll be drawn to them because this is fated meeting, beneficial meeting, helping you in your life path. So something points to your future direction, and something might, if it has already happened, because you might have met somebody, especially if you're a early Taurus with the new moon that happened on 2nd or 3rd of July. If you already met somebody, if you already had a communication with somebody which felt fated, now comes the time when things start falling in place. Things start making sense. Your heart starts guiding you to the direction where you truly want to go, because North Node and Venus is like your heart is accelerated. Your heart tells you where your path is. It defines your desire, your aspiration. And in the coming days, that aspiration, that desire will be amped up. You'll feel very hungry for something in your life, and that will come out in your discussion, that will come out in your thought process, that will come out in the way you interact with your immediate surrounding. You'll be very focused on making a point, getting a point through, talking about something. Especially 21st of July, you can have a very productive talk with somebody. Strong desire, which you'll be very sure of, you can negotiate that very well on 21st of July. 21st of July is a day when we should negotiate something, when you should decide on something. You should sort of have a deeper discussion with a mentor, with a sibling, with a person who's your friend, and have a negotiation. If there's something which is going up and down, for example in a contract, 21st of July becomes the time when the negotiation can be easily done, can be easily through. And after 22nd of July, when Sun enters Leo, we will be very, very amped up in a positive way, because our ambition becomes very happy and enlightened after that. After 22nd of July, Sun enters your home, the place where you're comfortable, the place where you feel excited about life, where you feel excited about your family, you feel excited about your expression, you feel confident, you feel more centered about life, and it sort of attracts the right kind of energy to you. So, following that, I feel that the plans will take a very accelerated view, because Uranus, the planet of quick changes, come into play. There are two factors which will be at play in my view in the coming weeks, which follow this eclipse. Because in the month of August, we have a new start coming in your home and family, and something coming to completion in your career, and a next step in your career coming through. This is especially true if you have planets around 22 degree of Taurus, which is around 13th, 14th, 15th of May. I would say 3 days before and after 15th of May if you're a Taurus Sun, or if you're a Taurus Moon, look at around 20, 22, 23, 24 degree. If you have planets around 22, 23, 24 degree, even from 22, I would say 27 degree, you'll feel it very strongly that something is coming to ahead in your career in terms of you reaching the next level. And in the coming days, both your family And your career comes into focus, which is your critical axis comes into focus after 22nd of July. Something new begins, which is beautiful, what you're proud of, which you're happy about when it comes to your personal life. And that gives you the confidence, the faith to go after the career direction that you truly want to go for. You'll feel very excited about it. You'll feel very amped up about it. The thing is, Taurus, Uranus is in your sign now. Uranus is a planet of sudden changes. So we are living through a phase where we want change, we want shift, we want an old chapter to end and a new one begin. And Uranus is making a contact with Sun on 29th of July, which is sort of like a spark. It's like a sudden enlightenment about something, and you're like, okay, like a light bulb moment that something is ending, which you already were in process of putting to close to through those discussions that we just spoke about, through the negotiations, through a contract, and over the course of 24th, 25th, 26th of July, I feel you sort of fall into place with it. And then around 29th of July, there is a clear moment, a moment of clarity that comes through. And it could come through in form of some shift in your personal life as well. That is especially true if you're a April born Taurus or a early degree Taurus, 6 degree, 7, 8 degree Taurus. It could be a sudden change, and these changes are always to put you in a better position, put you in a position where you're free, where you're independent, where you're doing the things that you truly want to do. And some shift happens either in your personal life, or you just internally feel more free to go after something that you truly desire, and that comes to a conclusion during the course of next month. This eclipse, which is happening on 16th or 17th of July, is a very potent eclipse. It will yield results, in my view, over the course of next 4 weeks. Let's talk about specific dates and degrees, who will be most impacted, who should be on lookout for. I'll give you a quick rundown of the whole month as well as the eclipse degrees. So the first thing to note is that on 2nd of July we had the solar eclipse, which is a new start, commercial new start, a new karmic communication. That happened around 10 degree. So if you are a 1st of May born, you might have received some guidance at that time. I will request you to be on lookout for some some conversations that might have happened in the early part of the month, which might be of use to you. They will become more potent if you have launched something, or you've thought of marketing something, or you've thought of rebranding your business, or if you've thought of launching something which in the area of communication. You will see that grow further all the way till October. And you should grow that. You should work on it. You should sort of invest in it. This is especially true if you have planets around 10, 11 degree of Taurus, or if you're born around 1st of May. Again, as I mentioned, these are easier energy for you. It's easy to lose them. This is where you need to be on lookout for clues. Did I have a discussion in the early part? Am I having a conversation? Something is shifting in my immediate environment. Something new has come up when I was talking to my coworkers. Those kind of things are giving you clues this month. Then we have this eclipse, which is happening on 16th of July, 5:38 p.m. Eastern Time, which is happening at 24 degree. So if you are a 24, if your planet's 3 or 4 degrees around 24 degree of Taurus, you'll feel it very strongly. Your belief system is being tested because we are replacing it with a new one. We're replacing our goals. We're replacing our life purpose here. And you'll feel that very strongly. This is if you're a Taurus sun born around 15th of May, 3 days before or after 15th of May, you'll feel that eclipse very strongly. There is a need for structure. I will request you to use this time in the coming days to interact with people and put down the structure of what you truly want to do. What is the result? What is the manifestation you're looking for? This is a manifesting full moon. It wants to release the old structure and create a new one. Something is coming to maturation. Something is coming to reality. Something is being rubber stamped. Something is being formally put down in a material way here. What do you want it to be? This is about finding your calling. This is about finding your calling and dedicating yourself to it. So you'll be sort of walking out of a situation that is stale to some extent and walking into a new situation with this in the coming 4 weeks. And that process begins from 16th of July. Then on 17th of July, and I would think even now, this whole week, there might be some discussions with people. It could be with people who are different from you. It could be with a mentor. It could be with a friend who lives at a distance from you. It could be your own thinking challenged in a conversation, your own belief system challenged in a conversation with somebody who thinks different from you. And this is again an easier energy. Even if it's a power struggle, it's an easy energy because it is adding to you through a conflict, through something that looks like a strained moment even in the coming days. On 17th of July, 21st of July with a loved one, something karmically turns out and that takes shape. That is especially true if you have planets around 17 degree or 22 degree of Taurus. That is around 8th of May or 13th of May born. All the way, I would say the whole of 17 degree to 24 degree is very activated this month. There is a set of karmic events planned for those degrees, in my view. And this is positive karma. This is positive karma. This is work of past life coming to fruition. Something that you've invested in, you have worked in, that finally coming to a fruition. It could be a course coming to a fruition. It's like somebody graduating from something, been there, done that, and now let's move to the next stage. And some of you might actually be graduating as well. So that leads us to going into the zone when Sun enters Leo on 22nd of July, and the focus comes to your family and to career manifestation. We are done with the tools that continues in the background over the course of next 6 months. It continues especially for the next 4 weeks. That we are into that discussion mode. All of that is happening, but physically there will be things demanded from you at home and at work, and you'll start working on that, and it will be a very busy period. It will be a period when a lot of conversations are happening, and some very positive conversations can happen around 24th of July. 24th of July is when we are letting go of old dependency and new information is coming through. You sort of are in very active mode. 24th, 25th, 26th of July, when it's your own moon, when you have Taurus moon, your whole system is being reset, rebooted, so as to speak. This is especially true if you have planets around, I would say, 26 degree of Taurus, or if you're a 17th of May born, you might be you might receive a positive news on that day, on 24th of July, or a day before or a day after. Overall, that's a day when we should, 21st, 24th of July, these are dates which we should use for negotiations, which we should use for future planning, which we should use for negotiations of documents, and finalizing something for future. Mars is also meeting Jupiter on 25th of July, where we are likely to see some lucky action. Our actions can be very well supported, especially when it comes to a home. If there are any home repairs or changes in the house required, or with the family, they can result in very positive results if done around 25th of July. That is especially true if you have planets around 14th or 15th of degree of Taurus, which is around 6th of May born. So you'll see certain very positive work done at home, or negotiations of leases, negotiation of real estate. Those kind of things can happen in a very positive fashion on 25th of July as well. That leads us to 28th, 29th of July, when I think something might come up suddenly. It could be a sudden surprise. It could be something that you need to sort of suddenly go into. It could be a shift, especially if you have planets around 6 degree of Taurus, which is April born, 6 degree of Taurus, especially if you're a Taurus moon, 6 degree Taurus moon around that. It could be a shift in where you live. a new home, a new phase in your family, a new place of living, a new found inner peace with yourself, and you feel confident to take a new step as a result of that, which will come up later in the month of August when the full moon happens in your career house around the middle of August, which is happening around 22 degree. So if your planets around 22 degree of Taurus, or if you're born around 13th of May, you're looking at a career change as early, in my view, as August. So that's what is the total rundown. I'll, of course, try to leave these on the screen as well, the dates and the degrees for you to take a look at. But that's what we have to look forward to, Taurus. Good luck for this, and I'll see you now in the August video. Thank you.